Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Figure 4 podcast. I'm Mike Cummings alongside of Dan Marino, and we're just a few days away from Money in the Bank. This week we had the go-home editions of both Raw and SmackDown Live just a few days before the big event this Sunday. So Dan, I'd say pretty straightforward, go-home shows, as I mentioned, just getting you prepared for what's going to happen on Sunday, and just a lot of build-up. How did you find the shows this week in an overall general sense?
How did I find the show? Well, I didn't expect much, so I guess if you include standards, I wasn't too disappointed this week. But I'll say this: one show is definitely better than the other, in my opinion. Which actually is a good little segue, because I think we talked about beforehand how we're gonna start rating each show every week.
Yeah, so I'm interested. Well, we are going to do that, and I'm interested to hear what you're going to say, because you said one show is better than the other. Not necessarily a bad thing,
yeah.
But I want to know which one was better and what was worse.
Okay, so I'll just go right off the bat with my rankings right here. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time ever on the Figure 4 podcast where you're about to hear me and Mike's ratings of Raw and SmackDown. We're going to make this a weekly thing.
The only wrestling podcast that does it.
Probably. Maybe.
Yeah.
Likely.
And if anyone else does it, it's probably not as good.
Yeah, probably not as good. Probably. They
don't watch the show.
Yeah, exactly. Just ripping us off. They're just stealing our... Anyway. So it's going to be Dave Meltzer style out of 5 stars, which means you're going to see some random 6-star ratings. And
okay, well, I like the system. I honestly don't expect anything to surpass the 6-star rating, unless you have a surprise for us.
I'm thinking at some no. There's definitely not.
Okay.
There's definitely nothing this week like that. But I think at some point I'm just gonna throw in like a 6 and 2, like 3/4, or 6 and 2/3, like follow the Dave Meltzer mold,
like a Kenny Omega kind of thing.
Exactly. Right on. Just break your own rating system.
Well, anyway, how did you view the shows this week? What are your ratings for this week's Raw and SmackDown Live?
So for this week, and the great thing about this is that we don't have to kind of go over every little thing that happened on each show, especially on a week like this. We're previewing the pay-per-view, but my rating for Monday Night Raw, I'm going to clock it in at 2 out of 5 stars. And the only reason I don't have it at 1.5, because that's what I was originally going to do it, but Seth Rollins and Elias's segment was so good, was just so damn entertaining. And Kevin Owens, actually, I got to give him credit too, was also so entertaining throughout the night, because he had like 4 segments that, and the main event was pretty good, kind of. The whole Braun thing kind of ruined it for me, but it was okay. I'll give it a 2, a generous 2, just short of average.
I agree. I'd say Kevin Owens is probably the MVP of Raw this week. He, like you said, he was on the show multiple times. He opened the show, he closed the show. He looked good in between as well. The table spot in the Fatal 4-Way main event match was really cool, and I hope we get to see something like that on Sunday, because and that's the guy that you want to do it too. He's good at being a high flyer, despite how people might view him size-wise, but he's done that his entire career, so it was really cool. And plus, just to sell home the point, if anyone's going to crush Braun Strowman through a table, it's probably going to be a bigger guy, so to speak, not Finn Balor or anything like that. So
it's a good point.
I think it was a good pick. I like the so you're saying the Rollins and Elias segment kind of saved the week in a sense. It kind of gave it that boost. Okay, so I feel like
I loved it, man.
No, it was really good. Like I say, like we've said, these guys really work well together, and I think it could be a dark horse match, a match of the night for Money in the Bank. And I don't think that's a stretch because of who's in the ring. It's Seth Rollins. He's a guy he carried the company for that whole world title reign that he had. He was the guy, as he was claimed. He was the man. So, and coming back from injury after injury, missing WrestleMania, the guy, he puts it on every night, and you kind of forget that he missed all that time, because he's been doing this for so long. He can just pick it up seamlessly. So I love what I see from Rollins, and I'm really looking forward to that match at Money in the Bank. I feel like what really deteriorated ratings this week, maybe for you, probably for me, was the Bobby Lashley Sami Zayn segment, because that was a rough one, man. I don't understand what's going on with those guys. Like that's a terrible feud. I'm sorry. Like I love Sami Zayn. The guy's an incredible in-ring performer. He's entertaining, but what they're doing with this feud, I mean, obviously it's just to fuel whatever push is coming Bobby Lashley's way, but like it's not even like if he wins this feud, which is expected, it's not even like it's really going to help him momentum-wise, because the feud's just been so bad.
Tell me about it, Mike. Come on. I know you're holding back right now. Tell me how you really feel about this feud.
I mean, I feel like I've gotten it all out. It's been, yeah, honestly, for me, we're just, like we've hammered home, we're just a few days away from Money in the Bank. Yeah. I really hope that once this match takes place and once the final bell rings, it's over. Yeah.
Well, the sad thing for me is that it's this weird paradox where I agree with you that the feud has been awful, and not almost. I think every segment they've had has been in some capacity pretty brutal.
Oh, they seem to get worse every week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about worse, because that Lashley sisters thing was
I
maybe true. The worst thing ever.
That's true. But at the same time, I don't want to say it got better this week.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
It just didn't get worse.
Yeah, exactly. But the paradox for me is that I can still somehow, with all that being said, I still appreciate. Like I just feel like Sammy's trying his ass off right now. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how he is consistently week after week in these segments that are awful, but at the same time I still come out of it saying like, man, Sammy's a lot better as a heel than I thought he would have been. You know what I mean? Like he's somehow not making it work because the segments aren't working, but I don't know what it is. Like maybe, is it just me? Like, I don't know.
Oh, no, I don't think you can question Sammy's effort in trying to make it look good, because he is. And for me, when I finish watching these promos, whatever they're doing, I don't think my initial thought isn't, wow, this sucks. It's, wow, they could really, like, Sammy deserves better. That's my mindset, because he really does. And I'm not saying Bobby Lashley doesn't. It's just that I feel like Zayn's kind of trying a little bit more, and for me too, like I find Lashley like in these promos, and I'm not sure if he's told to be like this or this is just him doing it on his own, but it seems like he's almost just disinterested in this. So right there, if the characters aren't interested in what's happening, then as the viewer, I'm not going to be interested in what's happening, and I'm not.
Well, so here's the thing though: is Lashley disinterested, or is he just bad on the mic? You know what I mean? Because I don't think he's ever been the gold standard of cutting promos or anything like that.
I guess I never really watched him post WWE, a little bit in this TNA run, but when he was in WWE initially, he was more of a quiet spoken guy who just let his actions do the talking, and I think that's his best route. But now they just want him to be like this happy-go-lucky character, so it's kind of hard to make that comment. But honestly, I lose interest in it week by week, and I am clamoring for it ending this Sunday. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's
it just sucks because it doesn't make sense that it's not working, because we've seen so many feuds work between a really good heel and a face that doesn't really talk that well. And this one just isn't, for whatever reason. It doesn't make any sense. And personally, and I know a lot of people might disagree with this, but I do love the fact that they tried to play up the whole Sammy's Canadian, he doesn't respect the American army and all that stuff, because I know that could be like a touchy subject for some, but wrestling is supposed to push the envelope a little bit,
especially this 2018.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, and he's not malicious about it. No. He's just being Sammy. He's just being like I don't know what the word is, but he kind of like cowardly and just he's annoying. He's annoying.
Yeah, well, like the bright spot of the entire feud so far was, in my opinion, the way he dropped that whole did you even join the army? And like the way he said it was so like he knew he was dropping a bomb, but he said it like he wasn't.
Yeah, because that's a very touchy, as you mentioned. Oh, yeah. That's very it's sensitive.
Yeah, exactly. And Lashley's face afterwards was just priceless. I thought that was great, and it really got the crowd behind Lashley without Lashley even saying a word, right? So I thought that was maybe the one singular good thing about the feud so far. But
There's been a lot of bad with it too. A lot of baggage.
Yeah. A lot of it.
Like the Bobby Lashley fan club thing. Like that graphic was just so like I made that. You know what I mean? So
that was bad. Yeah.
I make our artwork for this podcast, and you can tell it's very amateur because I make it.
No, stop.
I could probably make something better than the Bobby Lashley fan club poster.
That I definitely agree with. Yeah.
So, yeah, well, okay. I'm just gonna give it to you straight. Because of how this feud, I feel like this always goes. Just because of how this feud is going right now, and just the very fact that Sami stood tall on Raw to close out this segment to the lead up to the match. I mean, my prediction. It's not a prediction. It's a fact. Bobby Lashley's
It's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler. Spoiler alert. Bobby Lashley's gonna win that match at Money in the Bank. I don't know how clean it's gonna. Well, it's not gonna be a dirty finish, but I don't know how quick it's gonna be. But there's a lot of matches on that card, so I think it'll be like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like you'd be optimistic if you thought it was gonna go 10. You know what I mean?
And I really hope like they know Sami's a good performer, so he'll get his licks in for sure. He'll have some momentum in the match, but ultimately we know what's going to happen in the end. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we can agree on that one. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, very straightforward. And I hope your ratings go up, and I hope their ratings go up after that feud ends. Hopefully, post Sunday. So
I think it will.
So you give Raw 2 stars.
2, yeah.
So I'm gonna, just for WWE's sake, I'm gonna hope SmackDown got a better rating.
Yes, they did. So
how did SmackDown do?
So I'm giving SmackDown for this week. I kind of, oh my god, I don't know. I'm regretting. I don't know. I'm bouncing back and forth. Okay, no, I'm good. I'm giving SmackDown a 3-star rating out of 5. Yes,
that's big.
It is big because I don't expect to give a lot of ratings above 2.5, to be honest, for Raw or SmackDown.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
But no, I think they earned it this week because they had some good matches on there. The whole Rusev and Joe thing wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad either. And they they made it work with the Miz as a special guest referee. And who did Daniel Bryan?
Shelton Benjamin.
And I thought that was a really good match.
Great opening match.
Yeah, and interesting that Bryan's using the heel hook as his new finisher, or maybe not a finisher. I don't know. He's tapped 2 people out with it the last few weeks, though.
Yeah.
And there was another one, Shinsuke versus Jeff Hardy. Weird ending, but good match nonetheless. And oh my god, the New Day thing after the Joe Rusev match absolutely had me in tears.
With the pancakes in the briefcase?
Because it wasn't just that they put pancakes in the briefcase, which was funny enough. It was the Miz's reaction, first of all, like just getting down on his knees and screaming, "New Day!" Like it was the end of a comic book or something.
Oh, if that doesn't earn him a spot in Hollywood, I don't know what does.
Seriously.
Get him away from these direct-to-DVD movies that he does for WWE. Get him in the John Cena train. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yes,
I think he earned it after that. That's an Oscar performance right there.
Absolutely.
He was genuinely angry.
But then cutting to the New Day laughing backstage for like what felt like a solid minute of just them laughing had me in tears. Maybe only 3 people on the... Sorry.
Can I interject and just tell you that wasn't live?
What?
Can I tell you why it wasn't live?
Why wasn't it live?
Because the New Day, all 3 members, were at E3 in Los Angeles Tuesday.
Really?
Because Xavier Woods was competing. If you're not aware, there was a Fortnite Pro-Am tournament going on, $3 million for charity, and Woods was competing. I don't remember who his partner was, but he was competing, and the entirety of the New Day were there. I had the stream up as I was watching SmackDown, as I was watching the very segment. I pretty much had Xavier Woods on 2 screens simultaneously, because he was competing in the tournament at the same time that they were supposedly live backstage laughing at The Miz.
Really? Well, that explains why it was... No, it still doesn't... Why wouldn't they cut it early? I don't know. I just thought that...
It's not like him being at this tournament wasn't public knowledge. It was, because they have to promote it. WWE even put out an article saying the New Day were going to be at E3. I don't know if it was so much for the tournament. They're supposed to be facing Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in a Street Fighter tournament, some sort of thing. So that was actually promoted on WWE.com, which is weird because I didn't think they'd ever talk about the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. But it's no knowledge in WWE's world that at least Woods and the New Day, they're going to be at E3. So that wasn't live. Just a little tidbit for you.
That is interesting. I actually didn't even know that. But
unless Woods kind of slipped out mid-game and just did that promo. But he was wearing different clothes. I know he was wearing different clothes. So just saying.
That's hilarious. But no, it was... I don't know. It was one of those things that seemed like it was probably a bad decision to leave it on for so long, because now it not being live is even worse, because, I mean, you could have definitely cut it shorter, but it worked. Like, I was pissing myself just watching them consistently laugh for, like, I don't know, it felt like a minute. It was probably shorter, but it felt like a minute.
Well, because they're just so, like, when those guys laugh, it's funny, you know?
Yeah, they're just funny guys.
Laughter really makes other people laugh, and those guys do it really well. So it's it was a good way to kind of end the build up for the SmackDown side of the men's ladder match, because I'm really looking forward to that match. Mm-hmm. And we've gone over it before in the past few weeks. Really, anybody can walk away with that. Well, 7 of 8, you were saying, can walk away credibly, or you know what I mean. They can.
Yeah.
It would make sense for them to walk away. I want to ask you, before we get to our predictions for the show, I know we've already gone through one. You gave SmackDown a 3 this week.
Yeah.
Is there no knock in your ratings? Is there no knock against SmackDown and WWE for them blatantly lying to us?
Lying to us?
Because what was advertised for this week's SmackDown Live, Andrade Cien Almas was supposed to face Sin Cara. One-on-one. Andrade Cien Almas, Sin Cara, one-on-one. That was supposed to be this week, and it didn't take place. But that was advertised.
I didn't even...
So I'm just thinking, does that make you want to edit your pick? Or no, I'm not saying you have to.
I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot that was a thing.
Well, that's why I'm here. I reminded you. So, does it change, or?
You know what? No, I feel like it's one of those things. If we want to make these ratings legit, which is what we're gonna do, we're gonna make these the most legitimate ratings of. Oh my God, I'm starting to sound like Donald Trump.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Once I submit the pick, it's in. All right. So I'll just have to. Just take my rating this week with a grain of salt. We'll just put it that way.
I mean, like there's no, like you can change it if you want. I'm not gonna get upset.
No. I am a man of my word. I said 3 stars. No, honestly, it wouldn't even affect my rating though.
All right. Okay. Well, fair enough. So, for me, I hope we see that match because I think it'll be good.
No, of course.
So, maybe next week's SmackDown. But now we're gonna move on to Money in the Bank.
Wait. I don't want to go into the predictions on such an optimistic path. You know what I mean? Like, this is WWE, this is wrestling. We have to put some negative spin into everything. So, that being said, with that, to be honest, great rating for SmackDown, considering how bad the last few weeks have been, I would like to present to you Michael Randall Cummings.
You got it right last week, though.
No, it's fine. It's right. It's
just
good.
Changed every week. Oh, you know what, though? You know what? My mistake. Go ahead.
I would like to present to you the first ever official top 10 things that sucked in wrestling this week from Raw and SmackDown.
That's a great title.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I wasn't joking. I genuinely like that because there are a lot of things that suck in wrestling. So, what's on your list?
So, this week it's out of order. I didn't have enough time to actually order it, but they're all equally as bad. So, just look at it that way. All right. To start off the list, we have Michael Cole calling Roman Reigns Ambrose at one point during Raw. I don't know if a lot of people caught that. I actually rewinded to make sure I was correct. And yeah, he punches Jinder Mahal off the apron at the beginning of his match with one of the Singh brothers. I can never remember their first names. Sunil, yeah, sure. And Michael Cole just kind of yells out, Ambrose! So that was interesting.
That tends to happen more than you think.
No, not more than I think. Okay. I know.
That tends to happen more than it should.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So that was actually the inspiration for me starting this list. Once I heard that, I was like, you know what? I need to kind of condense all of my negative thoughts about this week.
This goes back to our discussion last week or a few weeks ago.
I
was praising Michael Cole. So look at that. He inspired your list. Maybe not in the best way, but he's inspiring a good segment. So
right.
Just saying. Anyway, what you continue.
So the next thing I have on here was something I despised, was the opening segment of Raw. Just in general. Like, some things, I mean, everything Kevin Owens said was pretty cool, but them starting off on top of the ladders, which is something I'm pretty sure they've done more than once before, is just so cringy and awkward and just not what I want to see when I tune into Raw. You know what I mean? It's like Braun Strowman, this big monster among men, the big badass that's running the WWE right now, and he's just like, oh yeah, I'll go stand on that ladder with all these people and have a little chat. It just doesn't make sense.
When I turn on my TV to have Raw on and seeing 8 ladders set up with all 8 participants, I feel like your initial reaction to starting up Raw or SmackDown should not be,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I knew
it's a great way to put it.
I knew that there wasn't going to be a fight, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was just so weird.
Yeah,
you
cringy.
know, I knew it. Like it doesn't surprise me, but I don't know. I the only thing I liked about it was that your last point about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say the only thing I liked about it was that we got to see an interaction between superstars we don't get to see interact. We never get to see the guys and girls interact with one another.
Fair.
And now that they have something in common, other than being part of the Raw roster, now that they have something in common, they got to interject. Like Kevin Owens cutting off Sasha, saying, "We don't care about who you think's gonna win the men's." It was a very small one. And then Alexa Bliss saying that she thinks Strowman's gonna win, and then as I just said, Sasha Banks saying she thinks Finn Balor's gonna win. So I don't know. That was my only thing with it that I liked, but it was weird.
They don't have to be on ladders though to do that, right? Like that's
yeah. Well, that's how you drive the point home that they're in a ladder match on Sunday, Dan.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that, but all 8 competitors are in respective Money in the Bank ladder matches.
That's why they did
which
it.
involve ladders. They're steel ladders. Even though people go through them or break them with their fists, they are steel ladders.
Yeah.
So that's what they were standing on, and they grab a briefcase above the ring, hence the 2 briefcases above the ring this week.
See, now everything makes sense. I should almost take it off. No.
And that's this Sunday, Money in the Bank, WWE Network, 8-hour show.
Right.
Number 8.
Yes, 8 hour.
But what was number 8 for you?
So, okay. I'm going to actually couple this in with the opening segment just because, it's technically part of, okay. Alexa Bliss, after they have everyone standing on the ladders and yelling at each other and a lot of just really awkward dialogue too, but whatever. They go to commercial, and then they come back from commercial, and all the ladies are in the ring, except for Alexa Bliss, who song comes on, and then she re-enters the ring.
Did she? I missed that. Did she really?
Yeah, it was so weird. She was in the ring.
So she went to the back and came back.
She went to the back, and then immediately came back with her song on. It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
That's so weird. Thank you for informing me of that. I did miss that. I'm gonna have to watch that back. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was super weird. So anyway, the next thing I have on my list is Jinder's plan. That's all I titled it as on this little list that I wrote up on my phone here. And okay, I knew they weren't gonna have Jinder versus Roman on Raw right before Money in the Bank when they're fighting, at the big pay-per-view. Actually, if they did fight on Monday, I would have put it on the list. But I guess his plan was to distract Roman so that he can then attack him from behind. I just feel like there's maybe 1,000 better ways to do that without just being I'm a heel. Let me throw my sidekick off to get his ass kicked so I can get Roman from behind. You know what I mean? It's just dumb. I don't understand why he had to put him into a match with Sunil Singh. See, I got the first name right there.
There you go.
Yeah, I just I know it's wrestling, but they should actually we should actually be able to understand what the person's thought process is. You know what I mean? It was, I don't know. I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, like again, it's WWE. They just, I hate to accept how things are done, but you just kind of have to after a while, I think. So, yeah, that's WWE for you. They,
Yeah.
I got a sidekick. Here you go, Roman. I'm gonna feed you to him, or I'm gonna feed him to you, I should say, and give you some momentum for the pay-per-view. That's pretty much all it was. So, and the fact that Singh was competing in his ways, like the street clothes or whatever, his suit, obviously no one's gonna ever win in a suit. Especially that guy against Roman Reigns. No one's gonna win. So
yeah.
Unless Brock Lesnar. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. What's your next pick?
Okay, so the next one is a big one. This is probably the real number one. It's actually like 20 points that I'm just gonna condense into one, and I'll just title it Nia and Ronda. Okay, the entire segment. So this is what I have. These are the little points I have outlined for Nia and Ronda's segment. The first thing. So this is like, what are we on, like 4 right now? This is like 4A, okay?
Exhibit A. Okay.
Nia listing the rule differences from MMA and wrestling. Okay? I'm just going to just shoot through these.
Yep.
Okay, this one's a quote. I don't game plan, I improvise. I'm going to have to give some context on that. So Ronda said that, and I get that not everyone who watches wrestling watches MMA and vice versa, but like a lot of people watch both. So I think it's really, you're just asking to look stupid when you say something like that when, I don't know if you know much about Ronda Rousey's UFC career, but she was ridiculed pretty heavily, her and her coach, after her last 2 fights because they just showed no ability whatsoever to improvise. You can hear when she goes back to her corner and both fight, so I think she got knocked out in the first round in her second fight, but the first fight, she goes back to her corner and she is just getting her ass kicked. Like, she's getting wrecked. And for whatever reason, her coach just kind of says to her, you're doing great, just keep doing what you're doing, you're fine. And then she gets knocked out in the next round, right? So, like, she's known for not being able to improvise. So I just thought it was hilarious that she said, I don't game plan, I improvise.
Yeah, it's a weird irony, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. The next thing
I doubt the company, doubt WWE brings that up, but it's a good point. Just if you're sitting at home watching, it's a great point. And
I was cringing, man. Like, that's not. I don't know.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird. Like, don't you game plan? Like, isn't that the whole point of it, to game plan?
Yeah, it's stupid. Don't say stupid things, right? That's that's what I want my wrestlers to start doing. But okay, so then the next thing I have is Nia spitting out a Justin Trudeau style, you're just not ready. Like, it literally sounded like she was like reciting the smear campaign on Justin Trudeau from the 2016 Canadian election. I guess that's not really her fault, but like, that's what the first thing I thought of. Then they lied about attendance and pay-per-view records, saying that she lied about it. She said like something like, no one said I could do it in the UFC, but then I broke every attendance and pay-per-view record. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't break any of those records.
Is it true though? Is it true though?
Is what true?
Is that true? No, it's not right. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was saying that to Ronda. Like, is that true though? No,
it's not. Yeah, it is absolutely not true. And it's like, okay, you can brag about being in the UFC and all that stuff. In fact, like, it'd be stupid not to, because like everyone knows it. But don't lie. Like, you don't have to say she broke all these records when Conor McGregor was breaking them at the time that she was still there. So it's not like she broke them and then Conor broke them later. No, like they were in the UFC together and Conor was the one breaking the records. And she had amazing pay-per-view numbers and amazing attendance figures, but you just had to like cross that line and just kind of sour it for me. I don't know. Then they bragged about Ronda making the UFC Hall of Fame, which if you watch the UFC is worthless. It's basically just whoever Dana White feels like inducting today. And then the worst part for me was that they jumped the gun on Ronda armbarring Nia. You know what I mean? Like, that should have been something that we don't get to see until Sunday, or we never get to see, depending on what the result is Sunday. But you don't show the audience that one thing that you've been building up to for weeks, literally right before the pay-per-view. Like, why? Not only did she put her in the armbar, but she tapped. Like, Nia tapped out to the armbar on Raw, and that should never happen. You know what I mean?
They're completely rushing this way too fast.
Yeah, exactly. So then the next thing I have, see, we're still on Raw. This is why Raw got a worse rating.
Wow.
Is
Okay.
I'm gonna just, again, there's just too much bad on Raw, so I'm coupling things together. But Strowman falling down at ringside is fine, but Michael Cole saying Strowman lost his balance because he hurt his ribs was super weird to me. And Braun, this has nothing to do with it, but like Braun kicking out of every finisher again pissed me off. Like I'm starting to really, really dread watching Braun Strowman matches because it's just like I get that you got to push this guy to the moon, but you don't have to do it with him kicking out of every single finisher. Like finisher should still mean something. God damn it. And it's frustrating.
Tell us how you really feel, Dan.
Then I have let's move over to SmackDown. I have all the women breaking out into a fight on to open the show that are in the Money in the Bank match. Oh, sorry, they're in the Money in the Bank match, and then there's the heel group that came out to attack them or whatever. And in the middle of the fight, they just cut to the announcers talking. Which,
oh yeah.
What was that all about?
And then Tom Phillips is just looking over at it well, I hope we can resolve this soon. I
what
want
the
to
hell?
watch the fight.
Yeah, exactly.
At least have them all go to the back or something. I don't know, or have the referees come out and separate them. That was so random.
Yeah. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't understand that at all. That was terrible.
Yeah. So then I have Lana's accent because I don't know if she's sticking with the Russian accent or
it's
doing
gone.
her actual American.
I think it's gone.
But there's a hint of it at the end of some sentences. It's weird. It's not her real accent, so you shouldn't be still hearing a Russian accent every now and then.
Are they really gonna play up to the fact that she's she's from Bulgaria, she's from Russia, but now she's been in the States for so long, she's just losing her Russian accent. She's becoming a good American. Is that really what they're gonna make this out to be? Because stuff like that, kayfabe wise, is dead. We know. If you just watch Total Divas or whatever, not that I ever will, but if you were to or follow her on social media, that she doesn't have an accent. She's American. So
yeah,
stuff like this where you're just trying to force a fake reality in a sense, it doesn't work. It's like the Jason Jordan Kurt Angle situation. We know it's not real.
Yeah.
So stop trying to push it. It's not like it's a bad. It's kind of a bad story in its own right, but. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I don't really care too much. It's an accent, whatever. But I hope they don't make it a huge deal.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It just bothers me every time I hear it. It doesn't. Again, it just doesn't make sense, which is kind of a theme in the WWE, I guess. But the last two things I have on here is one, Big Cass shooting on roller coasters. That was weird, right? He formed an entire promo on. It sounded like he just really hated roller coasters. I don't know. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. It started off with Daniel Bryan not being tall enough to ride a roller coaster, but he was tall enough to ride a roller coaster. And then there was just talking about the best role. It was weird. I didn't like it. You're not doing yourself any favors, Big Cass, when he's got the spotlight on him, and a lot of people have doubts about him, and I'm included in that. And you're shooting a promo about a roller coaster. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's trying to shame people for being average height.
Yeah, but you don't have to talk about roller coasters.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Fair enough. I mean, if you like roller coasters, sure. Maybe Cass doesn't like them.
Okay. Well,
maybe he's too big.
That on your own damn time.
Can you be too big for a roller coaster?
Yes, I have actually witnessed someone be told they can't ride a roller coaster because they're too tall.
Okay. So Cass exceeds the chart. So maybe he's just bitter.
He didn't say that.
Maybe all those times, living in Florida, he's with Carmella. She wants to go on the roller coasters, whatever.
Yeah.
Cass can't go. Okay, I'll go with Enzo instead or something. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
What?
I don't know. I'm just trying to create scenarios.
Just creating a backstory for him. Don't just. It's bad.
I'm trying to improve Cass's display in this, so to speak. I'm trying to help him make sense of what he's saying, but you can't.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have to try a little harder there.
There's definitely there's a personal fight, personal battle right there for Cass. The guy hates roller coasters.
Yeah. It's a thing. People hate roller coasters. Doesn't mean we have to shoot promos on them.
Yes, it does.
Tuesday. Okay. Well, I guess we're all entitled to our opinion, no matter how garbage they are. Okay.
What's your next point, Dan?
My last point, and it's very similar to something that happened on Raw, but the main event 5-on-5 women's tag match ending with Asuka tapping out Carmella. I'm not even going to talk about that awkward thing they did at the end where Asuka's standing in the middle of the ring. They're all cheering, and then they stop and like stare at each other and then stare at the briefcase. Like, that was really dumb, but whatever. But my issue is that, again, Carmella and Asuka are fighting each other for the belt on Sunday, and whatever, Carmella's probably going to weasel out a win. It doesn't matter. First of all, you shouldn't even have Asuka and Carmella come into contact beforehand unless it's like an attack from behind or something, from the heel, which would be Carmella. You shouldn't have them actually hit each other until Sunday because you want to save that. You want people to like kind of like want it to happen, but you definitely shouldn't have her tapping out to her finisher. Like, I don't.
It was just like
day one.
It was just like Raw, kinda.
Exactly. No, it was. It was exactly like. I mean, it wasn't in a match, but like, I don't know.
No, I agree. It was probably the wrong call. I mean, I don't know how Carmella's gonna win on Sunday. I really, there's got to be. She'll have to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
But
it was hard to see a way for her to beat Charlotte, so she did that.
Well, yeah, that's true. She did have a briefcase and all that kind of stuff, but
no, I mean like in the rematch though.
In the rematch, that's true. That's true. My mistake. That is true.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. You know what? Like, we see it happen sometimes. Like, the challenger will get a pinfall on a champion in a tag team match before a big title match. It does happen, but the fact that Asuka like dominantly tapped out Carmella probably wasn't the best way to go heading into their big title match. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of lose, like, it kind of makes me less, I don't want to say less interested, but kind of thinking more towards, it seems like there's an obvious pick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bad call.
Yeah. No, I definitely.
But I like your list. I think you had some good things on there. We'll definitely have it next. Well, it's definitely going to be a weekly thing now. I approve of it. So,
well, as long as I have your approval, Mike.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Exactly.
So let's move on to Money in the Bank. We are just a few days away, as mentioned, and we're just going to tell you who we think's going to win and why. So
it sounds good. Sounds simple.
That's how predictions work. So
yeah, Mike laying down the law.
There's been one match announced for the kickoff show on Sunday. It's going to be the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Bludgeon Brothers and, I guess, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson. I don't know if they have a tag team name. Good Brothers?
Yeah, Balor Club. I don't know. Yeah, just Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Gallows and Anderson. That's on the kickoff show. So where do you see this one going? Because I feel it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is basically just a placeholder match. I don't even think the Bludgeon Brothers would be defending their titles on this pay-per-view if it wasn't for the fact that they didn't last pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't defended their titles on I'm not gonna count the Greatest Royal Rumble. They haven't defended their titles on a pay-per-view since WrestleMania. So I guess WWE's kind of like, well, we got to do it at some point. So they're just going to stick them on the pre-show, have them beat Gallows and Anderson, who are great, but like the WWE hasn't really believed in them in a long time. Like, it feels like over a year now. So, yeah, this is pretty straightforward. Bludgeon Brothers win. Quick match. Hopefully, because it's on the pre-show, they get a little more time, and maybe they make something work, because they're definitely capable of putting on a good match. But, yeah, Bludgeon Brothers all the way.
Yeah, it like... You're pretty spot on with that, I'd say. I don't really have anything to add to that. This is just setting up to be just allow the Bludgeon Brothers to get a win in a title defense and move on to a bigger opponent. Who knows who that's going to be? Something to set up for SummerSlam probably. But, yeah, the company doesn't really have... I don't think they put too much stock into Gallows and Anderson. And, the Bludgeon Brothers are pretty hot. Like, people like to watch them in the ring. I like watching them. I'm a big fan of theirs ever since they came up to the main roster. I I believe that they deserved better. At least the tag team run with it when they were within the Wyatt family. So they didn't get that, but they get it here. So
Yeah.
There really isn't too much to say about it. I'd agree with. So Bludgeon Brothers pick up the win, and I'm gonna say a pretty lackluster pre-show match. I feel like just because it's a tag team match, especially on SmackDown, they don't care that it's gonna get. I think it'll be like 7-8 minutes, which isn't too bad, but I don't know. I don't feel like the company cares too much.
No, I definitely agree with that.
So yeah, that's the only kickoff show match announced for the kickoff. So that's the only action we're gonna get. There are, we'll do it like this. There's two ladder matches, two Money in the Bank ladder matches on Sunday, and we're gonna start with the one that is full. We're gonna start with the one that we know every competitor for, because obviously for the other one we don't. The women's championship, or the women's Money in the Bank ladder match: Ember Moon, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Lana, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. Dan, who's walking out with the briefcase?
Oh man, I was really hoping you wouldn't say this one first, because this is a tough one for me. I feel like, first of all, there's not really a hole in this match unless you count Lana as one. You probably count Lana as like the only hole in this match, but everyone in this match is pretty awesome, and like almost like you can almost say like historic in some way, like almost already a legend. Like Charlotte is obviously a legend. Alexa Bliss is on a tear right now. Like she just kind of is she's at the tail end of one of the best runs a woman has been on in like forever. Becky Lynch is one of the first trailblazers of this era of women wrestling. Natalya was here before the women's revolution, and she's finally kind of getting her due now that there's people around her that can kind of wrestle at her level and even above it. Naomi's I can't really say as much about Naomi, but like she's good. And Sasha Banks again is one of those women who really ushered in this women's revolution. Oh, and I didn't even mention Ember Moon, who was amazing in NXT, and I can't wait to see what she can do on the main roster. So there's just a lot of my pick's gonna be the same as it was last year, which was wrong obviously because Carmella won last year. And I'm gonna pick her. It's actually kind of sad because I'm gonna pick her for the same reason I picked her last year. Although I don't know, she has looked good the last 2 weeks, which usually means the person's not gonna win. But I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch for the same reason I picked her last year, and that's that she is way too good to be as underutilized as she has been. So I'm hoping they give her a big push with this, and potentially maybe even turn her heel and kind of have that storyline play out. Like I don't think have we ever seen Becky Lynch as a heel?
Never. They're not that I watched, but there may have been brief time in NXT, but I don't think so. I think she's been a face her entire WWE NXT career. I'm pretty sure.
So like I don't know how capable she is, but if she is, it'd be cool to see a different side of her character, because again, she's just been kind of there for like 2-3 years now, right? Like she's way too good to be this underutilized. So I just want to see them do something with her, and I'm hoping that maybe this is the way they do it, because we both know that winning the Money in the Bank is something that could really add an element to someone to a character. So especially I think it's a great way to turn someone heel at some point. So yeah, I have no idea with this match though, because like anyone can win, and I think the WWE has a lot of pressure on them to make sure that someone good wins it, because this is only the second women's Money in the Bank match ever.
Yeah, and especially, there was a lot of controversy with how the one last year ended, and we'll look a bit about that.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but did you see the rumor that he might come back Sunday and interfere?
We tweeted it out.
Oh, yeah. We didn't tweet it out. Our intern. Our handsomely paid intern.
When I say we, I mean the family.
Yes. Yeah. The Figure 4 podcast family.
I love it.
Me, you, and the brilliant intern that we have working for us.
Yeah.
Yes, that is... I kind of hope that comes true, just because that would be hilarious, but at the same time, like, God, I hope they don't do that.
No, that's what I was kind of getting at. I mean, it's like talking about last year and how controversial the ending was, because everyone hated it, because this match was supposed to be a marquee match, revolutionary, historical, and then it ends with a man grabbing the briefcase. I didn't find that to be the worst thing in the world. I feel like it was I think it was a bad ending for different reasons, just because it was just kind of stupid. I don't look at it as, it's disrespectful to the women, and maybe that's going to give me some heat, but I didn't see it like that. I just saw it as a bad finish because it was just stupid.
I mean, like, it wasn't, I agree with you that it wasn't super disrespectful to women or anything. It's just like, you really had to go with that in the first ever women's Money in the Bank match. Like, this is the time you choose to do that. Like, I think that's what the issue was.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
They tainted something that should have been special.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna get involved in that ladder match. We don't know, but I mean, he's apparently supposed to come back, James Ellsworth. So, I don't know if the word is intrigued, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him when he comes back. My pick for this ladder match, though, it's real tough because there are so many great people to pick from. I'd say all 8 could win. And I do mean all 8, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna go with Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I think. Now I'm not leading to this being a successful cash-in, however, because obviously she's on Raw, and the point's been hammered home that whatever brand you're on as a winning superstar, you have to cash in on those on your show's champions, which kind of sucks because it kind of limits the creativity and the flexibility that they can have with booking. But I don't know how believable a Sasha Banks, Ronda Rousey cash-in could be, or Sasha Banks, Nia Jax cash-in could be, but I think it could happen. I think that she needs something to kind of pick up her momentum again because she's been kind of floundering lately. She has that weird feud with Bayley. They're frenemies, I guess, as you want to call it. It's weird, and I think this could really push her over the hump of kind of just be sitting around in the mid card on Raw, and I think it could really propel her. Like I said, I don't think that anything the women do for their next until WrestleMania is going to matter because it's all going to be what Ronda Rousey does. But I think that I think Sasha might be the best pick going forward. And my dark horse pick, and this one's really just way out in left field. I think my dark horse pick is Lana.
I knew you were going that way.
Well, I think out of the dark horses, yes. Because well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that, like, I know I said before that she's the one hole in this match, but that doesn't mean I don't think she can win. Like, she can definitely. They certainly feel that she's worthy of a push, so I wouldn't be shocked at all if she won. But yeah, sorry, explain.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, like, it would add the shock value, and it's a good shock because it's not that, it's not like a Jinder Mahal WWE Championship win where people were like, okay, Jinder, that's really weird. Like, people were against it initially, like right off the bat, and people hated his title run. But
I loved it.
Well, yeah, of course you did. But when you look at Lana, she's super over with the crowd. People love her. People are doing the chants, singing along with Aiden English. She's super over. That's the definition of over. And maybe, she's not the most talented in the ring, but it would add a good shock to have somebody who's not presented as the best wrestler win because I think people would get behind it. So, especially if you have Aiden English at her side, if you have Rusev at her side, who could also win his Money in the Bank ladder match, you never know, right? So my pick is going to be Sasha Banks, but my dark horse pick, and I really believe it could happen, is Lana.
Yeah, no, you made really good points. You probably made better points than me, but
I always do.
Okay, let's relax. Let's just tone it down a bit. But I would like Sasha to win as well, just because, like I said, winning the Money in the Bank match is an easy way to eventually turn someone heel or to start planting seeds for a heel turn, and I desperately want Sasha Banks to turn heel again, almost as badly as I want Charlotte to turn heel.
Well, that's the thing with WWE. Like, if something's not working, turn heel because then you have more creativity. Look at the Usos, all those years being faces, and not that they weren't over, but they became a little stale.
Yeah, exactly.
They turned heel, became one of the hottest things post whatever era we're in now. Ever since the draft 2 years ago, they've been one of the best things. Maybe the last few months they've been floundering here and there, but I think like 2017 was a really good year for them, especially
amazing,
and it, highlighted by the New Day feud, which was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, Charlotte, great heel as we've seen. Sasha Banks, great heel as we've seen. So, I think it opens up the possibility when you have that briefcase. One person, and just one last note on this match. I do want to get moving, but one person I know is definitely not going to win is Natalya, because A, she won the Fatal 4-Way, so she's definitely not going to win. She won the Fatal 4-Way in Raw. She's definitely not going to win. B, she's selling this injury that she sustained a few weeks ago, or last week, I guess, against Nia Jax. And C, she's so heavily involved in the Raw Women's Championship feud, it would make sense to have her cash in on one of the two because, she's friends with both of them. But I think that makes it a little too obvious. So I think she's going to lose. And out of frustration, I think she might have a helping hand, so to speak, in a match later in the night. Unless it happens before, then you know what I mean.
Yeah, but, she's definitely turning on Ronda. I just wonder if it's going to be like you said, a frustration thing, or if she's going to or they'll start planting seeds of her being jealous of Ronda, or if they're going to play up the whole oh, I was only pretending to be your friend and now I'm turning on you.
Exactly. And I just wanted to say too, Natalya, we just wanted to give you a nice little shout out for liking our tweet about you. Natalya liked one of our tweets, not a big deal. But it was our most popular tweet at Figure 4 Podcast. So thank you, Natalya, for doing so.
Yeah, and I know you're listening, so
exactly.
Right on. Thank you.
we are on in Canada. I know you get the feed, so thank you. Thank you, Natalya. But you're not winning this Sunday, unfortunately. If we're correct, if we're not right, so be it. But I think that's probably what's gonna happen. We gave our predictions for Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn, and
yeah, we don't need to go back into that. We
don't need to do that ever. But okay, how about we go for a match? So there's so much to go through, and I want to get through this. One match that we kind of touched on briefly, but let's revisit it and actually hammer home our points. The Intercontinental Championship match: Seth Rollins and Elias 1-on-1, standard singles match. Who's walking out and why? Is Elias walk? That I was gonna make a walk with Elias. Walk with the championship? Is he gonna do that? Is he gonna walk with the championship?
That was smooth, Mike. That was that was silky smooth. Okay.
That was a rocky road.
No, Mike, stop. You gotta don't be so hard on yourself, all right? Just
hard like a rock.
Let me. Oh God, Mike. I'm just trying to build you up, and that was weird. You made it weird. You're
trying to yeah.
Let me.
You're trying to put me over.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'm trying to put you over. Just
okay.
To my friggin' prediction.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, like we said before, this should be one of the best matches of the night. If it wasn't for the big ladder matches, which I think both are going to be amazing, I would probably say this is going to steal the show just because, anytime Seth Rollins is wrestling, there's a good chance it's going to be the best match of the night. But like we said before, Elias is no slouch either in the ring, and these two obviously have a lot of chemistry. Both in the tag team match they had a few weeks ago and obviously in their segments, which have been absolute gold. This has been the best rivalry feud, whatever you want to call it, of the year so far, in my humble opinion. But this is a lot harder to narrow down than I thought it would be when it first happened, because my theory has been, since WrestleMania ended, that Rollins will eventually drop the strap. I thought it was going to be a Jason Jordan thing. Maybe Jordan comes out on Sunday. Who knows? But that he'll drop the strap and then end up beating Lesnar at SummerSlam. Now it's looking like... And Elias would be the perfect guy to take the belt off him. But now, there's rumors that Roman Reigns is going to fight Lesnar at SummerSlam, which, yay.
I actually cannot wait for that match. Oh my God, I cannot wait.
I know, it's like I've never seen it before. It's completely fresh.
It's like I haven't... It feels like if I were to watch that match at SummerSlam, it's like I haven't even seen it twice this year.
And once before that. So if my theory were to be right, it would mean Elias wins on Sunday. Because then you're running out of time for Rollins to drop the belt and then have a rematch and then get it move his way into a shot at Lesnar. However, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I don't know. I'm kind of at the point where if they're not going to do it, I just hope this rivalry lasts a while, like they have at least one more pay-per-view match, maybe even two. And Elias definitely deserves the stage that the IC belt would bring him, but again, if they're not going to have Rollins, if they're not going to pull the trigger on Rollins beating Lesnar at SummerSlam, then you might as well have him hold on to the IC belt and continue making it the what do they call it, the working man's belt, or
something like that.
So I mean, like it's awesome. We've seen before how well it works when someone as established as Rollins takes a mid-card title, fights every week, and has these amazing matches, and really, establishes how great, or kind of it's not establishes, like drives home how, like, makes it special, the IC title, like it should be. We saw Cena do that with the US title, so I hope Elias wins, just so that my plan could continue being a possibility, but I'm gonna pick Seth Rollins.
Okay, I would pick Elias for the simple fact that Rollins stood tall in their last showdown. That's not always the case. That's not always the end result. It's not always the indicator. But I do think that Elias is gonna win this one. Because I think it just makes sense for him, not, like you said, the points with him and SummerSlam and maybe Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I just feel like Elias. I feel like it's time. I feel like this is the moment. I don't know if he's ever had a title shot before in WWE.
No, I don't think he has. No,
but he's so over. And the thing is, too, it's like he doesn't need a championship to be over, but it might give him a little more credibility, and I think it'll get him more heat from the crowd. So,
no, 100%, yeah.
I definitely like him winning on Sunday. I think that's what's going to happen, and it obviously won't be clean. The guitar will get involved in some capacity or whatever, but I think Elias is going to walk with the championship. I didn't mean to make that point. I think he's going to win the title, and I think this could continue throughout the summer. And even if maybe Dean Ambrose comes back sometime soon, hopefully. He can
that's still my WrestleMania pick, Ambrose versus Rollins, but we'll see how that.
Fair enough. But I think Elias is going to win. I think he's going to win this one. I think it's the right time to do it, the best time to execute, having him hold the championship, and the fact that the company and the fans love him so much. Yeah, I don't think you could pick against it. Not saying Rollins is a bad pick, but I think Elias is just too strong of one to choose otherwise.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm gonna stick with Rollins just because I think that's what they're gonna do. But I think that the WWE's kind of put themselves in a rare win-win situation where, like, I kind of don't mind either way. Like I said, I prefer Elias to win, and especially because you brought up some good points, and I agree with you that Elias is so over right now. He's one of the most over heel acts in the company right now. And we've seen how well a heel Intercontinental Champion could work out with The Miz last year. The Miz has been Intercontinental Champion a few times, but you know what I mean. Yeah. But and he's obviously, this is a big showcase for him because he's been slowly moving his way up the card. Now he's facing one of the most established guys in WWE. Like, this is as close. I know it's for the IC belt, but this is as close to a main event as you can get right now, is fighting Seth Rollins for a title. But yeah, maybe it's time to deliver on that and give him his first big marquee win, because he hasn't had a big win like this ever in the WWE. So maybe this is the time, and I'd say that I'd want Elias to win more, but I'm still gonna pick Rollins.
Well, I think regardless, you and I have different picks on this one. I think regardless, this is going to be a very good match. I think he could definitely steal the show. We have two ladder matches, I'm aware. But and we have a last man standing match too, which is going to be awesome, hopefully.
Yeah. Expected,
hopefully. But this match, I think, is really going to steal the show because you have one of the best in the world in Seth Rollins, and you have I'm not going to say he's one of the best in the world, but he's damn good. Elias as a character, as a competitor. So I am really looking forward to this one. Do not sleep on this match. Not that you would anyway, but definitely just stick with that and don't, because it's going to be really, really fun to watch. It's going to be one of the better one-on-one matches, and there are so many one-on-one matches at this show. Yeah. One of which, and we'll just stick with Raw, and we're just going to get this one out of the way. Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal.
Why
I think
why are you doing the main event right in the middle of our prediction?
If this went on last,
this has to go on last. What do you mean? It's the main event.
Legitimately goes on last.
Mike, you do not put two icons of the wrestling business anywhere but the main event when they're fighting each other for the first time. It's Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns. Like, we're talking about two Goliaths in the history of wrestling.
Why do I have this suspicion they're gonna put it on last? I feel like it's impossible for them to do it. I feel like there has to be a 0% chance they do it, but there's just little part of me that makes me believe this match could end it. But I feel like I'd just be an idiot to say that at the same time. So,
Mike, if the last match, if every match goes on before Roman and Jinder, like, if there's only 2 matches left, and one of them is Jinder Roman, and the other one, like, you know, let's say it's the men's Money in the Bank, and Kevin Owens' music hits, I might not make it through the pay-per-view because I might die of laughter. Like, literally die of laughter.
Honestly, man. However, I'll be quick about this one. I think Reigns goes over because that's my point. I'm done with my point. Reigns goes over because.
All right, well, I'll analyze it a little further. All right, what we have here is, like, this one is it's tough because on the one side you have the modern day Maharaja. Okay, this is someone who. How do you even explain Jinder Mahal? This guy has brought in millions, if not billions, of fans from another part of the world. You know what I mean? Like, people who weren't watching wrestling before, and now he's brought them into our world.
Maybe background-wise, but he's not even from there. He's a Canadian.
Nah. That's just what the conspiracy theorists want you to think. But
that's what his Wikipedia page says. And I know everyone can edit it.
Wikipedia is born in Calgary,
man. He's Canadian. I don't know what you're talking
about. No. I wish we could claim him.
His name's not even Jinder. So
no, stop it. Not. Stop spewing your lies. This is propaganda.
Trust me. I couldn't be more correct about this.
And then on the other side, you have not just a dog, not just a big dog. You have the biggest dog of all of the dogs, and the worst part is this is his yard. Like, we are in his yard, all of us at all times. In his yard. We are. It's not whether you want to or not. We are in his yard, and it's so hard to. He always has home field advantage because it's always in his yard. So it's tough. I'll go with I'll go with Roman because he's at home. So, big dog, big yard, in his yard. Roman wins.
That's the only reason you're going with it?
I mean, it's just they're both so good and so over, but one of them's got to lose. So, you always go with the team that's playing at home, and so I'm going to go with Roman because he'll be performing at home. Yeah, and I'm sure both guys will get cheered so heavily, it'll be one of the biggest pops you see in wrestling history.
As a realist, I'm going to anticipate that the entire match, which will probably be 25 minutes,
yes,
will
at least
there will be a boo. They'll get booed the entire time.
They should have made it an Iron Man match, man. That would have been dope.
Oh my god, 60 minutes
of the big dog and the modern day Maharaja.
I was actually surprised about. Well, I don't know if it would have made your list, but I thought it'd be a point you brought up. How excited were you that they almost had the Great Khali come out on Raw?
Oh my god, what a tease! Mike, I knew the whole time. In my heart of hearts, I knew it was Sunil Singh. But they were tugging on my heartstrings. Like, they were just like, oh, I don't know, man. That was pretty intense for me. It was a pretty intense moment of the show. What a tease. Hopefully they end up delivering on it, but just unbelievable.
Never again. Hopefully.
If the Great Khali came out to defend Jinder Mahal against Roman Reigns, would have been the best segment of the year. Hands down.
Moving on. There's another singles match on Raw. Oh no, we already did that. Damn, we already did that again. My mistake. I just want to talk so much about Lashley and Sami Zayn that I keep bringing it up. Yeah. Daniel Bryan, Big Cass.
Big old Cass.
Big old Cass.
Big bad Cass.
If I had to describe this feud in one word, it'd be lackluster.
Yeah.
I don't care about it.
I don't know if you could tell from earlier when I was talking about his roller coaster promo, but I am out on Big Cass.
No, I picked up on it. I
gave him a shot, and I tried to let it work. I had people in my ear kind of like, oh, he sucks. He's basically just test all this stuff, and I tried to be like, nah, let's give him a chance. Let's listen to his promo this week. Let's see. No, he's just no, I'm out. I'm done.
Well, he lost at Backlash.
Yeah.
Obviously attacked Bryan after the match. How do you see this one playing out? Do you see this one playing out any differently?
The thing for me is it depends on how long they want to drag this out, right? Like, I think they established with that match at Backlash that Bryan is definitely coming out of this feud on top. And, I mean, that's probably the way it should be, right? Like, even if you are trying to build up Cass, like, they need to start establishing Daniel Bryan as one of the top guys in the company again. And losing to Daniel Bryan is not a bad thing. Like, it's not going to crush your career, especially if you can put on a good match. So, logic says that Bryan wins, but, like, there's only, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only one pay-per-view between now and SummerSlam, right?
I believe that would be Extreme Rules.
Yeah, exactly. So, the thing for me, when you're booking feuds, is that you don't want to start a feud, like a brand new feud at Extreme Rules. You want to lead up to a big first encounter, or it doesn't have to be like the first ever time, but like the first encounter of this current feud at SummerSlam. So, and I hope I'm wrong about this, especially with some of the other matches on Sunday, but is there a chance that Cass gets DQ'd or someone gets counted out so that they delay it until Extreme Rules and then they end it there? Like, I don't know, right? I mean, it depends on how long they want to drag it out.
It's a weird one because this feud doesn't make sense to me because they're trying to they're trying to push both guys in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So to have Bryan tap Cass out, but then Cass looks strong at the end, sure, it works. But I don't know how you set up a second match, let alone a third. So
yeah,
it's a weird one to me. I would maybe they have Cass go over and he cheats his way to victory, and then they just set up rubber match Extreme Rules.
Yeah, that's what, like,
whoever go over. Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if this is against your rules or whatever, but my official pick is just going to be something screwy. Like, either Cass wins in a really dirty way where he didn't really win, like in wrestling terms, or like, like I said, DQ or count out or something like that. Can I make that prediction, or do I have to actually predict someone winning?
I don't really know, man.
It's your call. It's your call. I'm putting it in your hands.
I'm going to say Cass wins. Give me your prediction. Who's going to win? Any way. Tell me how they're going to win. I think Cass is going to win in a not so good way. He's going to win in a I guess it's going to be a screwy finish.
All right, I'll go Bryan by DQ.
Okay. All right. Actually, I could see that definitely happen. I think Cass is going to win, though. Sets up the rubber match. Because then if Bryan wins by DQ and then they have a rubber match, well, there is no rubber match to be had, right? So I think that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I can see it. I just know it's not going to be a clean finish.
No, as it shouldn't be. Definitely as it shouldn't be. We touched on this one a little bit earlier too. Carmella and Asuka in the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Of course, Asuka tapped Carmella out on the at the end of SmackDown Live in that giant 10 women tag team match. We agreed that wasn't the best move. So does that kind of seal Carmella's fate for this match, or does she find a way to win?
Well, it's one of those things where there's a few things going in Carmella's favor here. One is that it seems like they are genuinely behind Carmella as being like having this extended title run, because if they just wanted to have her cash in to get it over with and then drop the belt right away, they would have had her drop it back to Charlotte. Or at least that's what logic says. So that she has that going for her where it looks like they want to give her a long title run. That plus like it would just seem too obvious where she gets tapped out on SmackDown and then a few days later gets tapped out again by Asuka. So that's what Carmella has going in her favor. In Asuka's favor, I did find it interesting that they just randomly announced her as the next contender for the belt, unless they're trying to build up Carmella as like this giant slayer. But why have Asuka's streak snapped, and then it seems like you're going to have to like spend quite a bit of time rebuilding her, but then all of a sudden she has a title shot again.
I think, yeah. I don't know. It's
unless they want to give her due and give her the title, which would make her streak being snapped so dumb. But like I don't know. I'm gonna pick Carmella. It'll be a screwy way, but yeah, like not like an interference or anything, but like kind of like what she did to Charlotte, where I think Charlotte like missed something and then she got rolled up, or I don't know. It'll be some semi-screwy finish, but yeah, I'll go with Carmella.
I'm going to kind of piggyback on your prediction for Cass and Bryan. I think Asuka's going to win by disqualification.
Interesting.
I'm not saying Mella's going to get herself disqualified. What I think's going to happen is there is going to be outside interference. I'm not saying James Ellsworth.
Oh God,
no, I'm not. Although it definitely could happen. I think what's going to happen is Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are going to interfere. Because they have a history with Asuka, a very brief one. Asuka beat them in a handicap match last week on SmackDown Live. I think that, I think they got Carmella's back on this one. Even if they both want to win the championship, I think they are going to have her back on this one just to kind of thwart Asuka. And then from there, you kind of have this little, I'm not saying a heel stable, but a heel alliance, so to speak.
Yeah, that works.
I think Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose are going to assist Carmella and get her disqualified essentially, but allows her to keep her title, obviously. And that's how that match is going to end.
Not bad, Michael. Not bad at all. I do want to
paying attention to the trends.
Yeah, I do want to just bring it speaking of bringing attention, is Sonya Deville Mandy Rose's sidekick now? Is that like a thing?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know,
it's always Mandy's song that they come out to, right?
Yeah, it's weird because I don't know. I guess like just the two of them needed a theme for themselves. Obviously when they were with Paige, they just came out to her entrance theme.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like they just kind of had to pick one, and they picked Mandy. The company, I believe, from what I've seen, has very high stock in her. I feel like she'll be one of those women in a few years that has, one of those big pushes.
Yeah.
I don't look at Sonya so much as a sidekick, but I definitely can see who's A and who's B in the company's perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
that's a good way to put it.
But nonetheless, I don't think it's going to be Sonya Deville assisting Mandy Rose and attacking Asuka. I think it's going to be the two of them equally attacking Asuka, assisting Carmella.
Yeah.
So that's how I see that match playing out. And also, it protects Asuka because she doesn't lose technically. She doesn't win the championship, but she doesn't suffer another loss because she hasn't lost since she lost at WrestleMania. I believe she lost a tag team match, but that wasn't,
she did.
But that wasn't her. She didn't get pinned, so that doesn't really count.
She lost the Iconics, I think.
Yeah, I believe it was Becky Lynch who got rolled up in that match or something like that. Anyway, I feel like a DQ finish where Asuka wins but doesn't obviously take the title is how that match plays out. So those are our predictions for the SmackDown Women's Championship match. We'll move on quickly to the Raw Women's Championship match. And now that I'm bringing it up, I instantly might want to change my prediction for the SmackDown one because I don't know if they want to have two somewhat screwy finishes for the Women's Championship matches, but WWE tends to, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, so, don't doubt WWE's ability to do that. Don't.
So I think what's going to happen, because, again, Ronda looks strong ending Raw or ending their part of Raw. I don't think she's going to win. I don't think it's because Nia Jax is going to dominate or, find a way to win. Well, I think the way she's going to find a way to win is through Natalya.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly that's going to play out. But I feel like the feud that's being teased for a long time is Natalya and Ronda Rousey. Whether it's for the title or not, it doesn't seem like it might be because I think that Nia Jax is going to retain. So I think Natalya will either insert herself and make this a three-way feud or make it a simple one-on-one matter. So I don't know. I could definitely see what I definitely could see though, and I'll give the mic back to you in a sec. What I definitely could see though is having Natalya insert herself. Maybe not make an alliance so much with Nia Jax. Maybe it's like a sort of a three-way thing. Definitely like some bad blood between her and Ronda, but you could kind of orchestrate it so that Nia and Natalya are kind of on the same page, but also not really because Nia's the champion. She needs to watch her back, and Natalya's obviously very sneaky. I think this sets up a Raw Women's Championship triple threat match at SummerSlam. Ronda Rousey goes over. She holds that championship until WrestleMania, and then we see that Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey mega match between the champions.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Did I just book your summer, or did I just book the summer?
You just booked the summer. Michael Randall Cummings just booked the summer for WWE. They don't need to do anything. He just did it. Yeah, I mean, that would be a good way to build up to it. I mean, I think we know what they're building up to, so yeah, it works. I'm sorry, man. I can't even try to I can't try to pretend to be more interested in this than I am. Like I don't want to say much about my prediction for this one. I'll just say this. This has been, in my opinion, maybe the worst feud WWE's had since the Bella Twins turned on each other.
Oh, wow, that's bad.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it's saying a lot, and that's why I said it.
That's a heavy statement.
Yeah, I think the WWE really...
You're comfortable with that one. You're going with that.
I'm going with it. Yeah, no, it's been freaking terrible.
It's a very big statement for you to make.
Every segment is so cringeworthy it hurts, and the only thing that it reminds me of is the Bella Twins. I think
okay.
I think that the
I'm not
WWE
disagreeing with you. I'm just saying
that's fine. We're all entitled to our awful opinions, but I think that the WWE definitely hasn't ruined Ronda. Like that's just not gonna happen. They would have to try really hard to do that, and I feel like she's probably still gonna work out this year, right? But I really think they botched this part of their build because this has just been so bad. Like, if they wanted to shove her into the title picture too soon, at least make it an amazing feud or make it make sense. Like, none of this makes sense. Every time Ronda or Nia opens their mouth, it's just straight garbage on the mic. And I feel bad for saying that because I think Nia's awesome and I think she's had this title run coming for a long time, but it's just not working. Like, she's not great on the mic, and Ronda is awful on the mic, and in my opinion, always will. I know that's a big statement, but whatever. But yeah, I just think it's been awful. What my prediction is for this Sunday, I don't think it makes sense that they're fighting each other again. But I think what this is starting with this past year's WrestleMania. Well, not past year, but like this past WrestleMania. It's all about telling the story of Ronda's journey to the women's title. Or, I guess, like you said, they could merge the titles. But like, it's too soon. You can have her win the title before WrestleMania and then fight the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte at WrestleMania, whatever. That would actually probably work even better. But it's too soon to put the strap on her on her right now. You have to make that a big event, and you have to tell a better story leading up to it. So I'm just gonna go with Nia. I don't know how the hell she's gonna do it, but she's gonna retain.
Well, I think
Ronda can't lose clean in her first singles match.
Exactly, especially her first title match.
So we'll go Ronda by DQ.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Yeah, that's so hard because I want to say like Natalya sneakily like messes up Ronda, like pulls her feet from the corner or whatever, and then Nia wins, but you can't have that, right? So yeah, I guess another DQ finish. I think it's gonna happen. I think it's probably the best thing to happen because it protects Ronda, it keeps the championship on Nia Jax, It allows Natalya to get into a spotlight that she hasn't been in probably in a while. And
well, she was the SmackDown Women's Champion.
That's true, but it's SmackDown, not Raw. And now you have Ronda Rousey in the mix.
Well, yeah, fighting Ronda, whether it's for the title or not, is bigger than anything you can do.
Exactly. And now that
true.
It's a title match feud, and you have Nia Jax, who they built up the past year as this dominant force.
Yeah.
I think it really works. So I think Natalya will insert herself in some way. I don't think it's going to be to the knowledge of Nia Jax. I don't think she's going to plan that.
You know what they could do, and not that this would be awesome or anything, but like they've done it before, where they can have Natalya think she's helping Ronda. She actually ends up screwing her over by like maybe she comes in to defend Ronda and she ends up like hitting Nia and gets Ronda DQ'd or something like that, or whatever. Something happens that leads to Ronda not getting the title because of Natalya, even though Natalya was trying to defend her, and Ronda forgives her, but like there's kind of like tension, and then you find out later down the line that like she did it on purpose. She was trying to screw Ronda.
That could definitely. That's a really good idea actually, because you can have Natalya set it up where it's like, oh, I didn't mean to. I was trying to help you. My injury kind of, I messed up a little bit, or Nia got under my skin. Build up that trust, even though there's a little tension. Build up that trust, build up that confidence. I'm going to help you get your championship, whatever. And then all of a sudden, right around SummerSlam time, bam. Yeah, I like that a lot. But I'm going to stick with mine, but I really like that.
All right.
See, if the company listened, we'd book it for you for free. Booking it for free.
And we'll book it better.
Now. Absolutely. For the men's side, there is only one World Championship match because obviously there's really only one world champion in WWE, and that's AJ Styles. Shinsuke Nakamura Part 4.
Wait, are you implying that Brock's not defending his title on Sunday? He must be defending his title on Sunday. It's a pay-per-view.
Oh, you didn't know that? Well, okay.
He's the Universal Champion.
If you're new to the product, Dan, you'll know that Brock Lesnar does not show up every week. You know when the last time we saw Brock Lesnar was? The Greatest Royal Rumble.
That was April 27th, though.
That was April 27th.
That'll be almost...
We've had shows since then. Well, we had
Backlash.
Almost
2 months exactly. That'll be 10 days shy of 2 months.
Yeah. We won't see him again until just before SummerSlam.
Whoa. He must be a big deal.
He is a big deal. He is a very, very big deal who is way too expensive to have on WWE television every week. So I'll just put it at that. It's because, well, he makes a lot of money and has a lot of demands. So it's what it is. But we do have AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. I believe it's Part 4. Actually, Part 5?
Wait. You have WrestleMania, that's 1. Greatest Royal Rumble, 2. Backlash 3. Yeah, 3. SmackDown. And then SmackDown 4.
4. Part 5.
Yeah.
5 matches, 5 title matches. Well, not title. 5 matches between these two in 2 months, 2.5 months.
A little bit of overkill.
WWE listened to their fans and saying they wanted to see this feud. Here it is, 5 times.
Yeah, but not one, maybe one good finish.
I really hope Last Man Standing match, like, I don't know who has the momentum. They're both kind of playing, well, Nakamura's great at playing the mind games. I don't know who has the definitive momentum, but I feel like this has to end, at least this saga,
Yeah.
But
it's got to come to a definitive end.
Definitely. But as I think about who I'm gonna pick, because it's a tough one. Who do you got?
Well, here's the thing. So earlier I said that going into SummerSlam you want a fresh rivalry, and that's especially true when you're talking about one of the big titles, one of the big belts, and the thing is with that theory is that would mean that AJ and Shinsuke have to fight at Extreme Rules so that you can have a fresh rivalry for the belt at SummerSlam. So I think they put themselves into a bit of a corner here, but I don't think they can justify having another screwy finish here. My belief is that it's going to be someone like Samoa Joe that's going to win the title at SummerSlam. And if that's the case, Oh, but I don't know because I can see two things. I can see Daniel Bryan beating Shinsuke for the title at SummerSlam, and I can see Samoa Joe beating AJ for the title at SummerSlam. Because it has to be heel versus face, right? Damn, I just freaking confused myself now. No, I'm gonna go with AJ. I'm gonna say AJ wins, and then they bring up some bullshit to make their like a triple threat match at Extreme Rules so that they don't have to have the exact same thing again next month. But yeah, AJ wins and he takes the belt to SummerSlam, where he drops it to like I said, like Joe or Rusev or one of the heels that doesn't win the Money in the Bank match.
Okay, that's a good pick. I think this match should be really fun to watch because it's probably the most intriguing out of the four that they've had so far. The WrestleMania one was good. Yeah. At least it was a clean finish, right? And then obviously at the end of the match, it was a big shock to have Nakamura turn heel. What I think is going to happen, I do agree. I think Styles is going to win this match. I think it's going to be an absolute slugfest. And I would say momentum-wise, it's probably Nakamura in the slightest sense just because of all the mind games he's been playing. But okay, actually, you know what? I'm not going to give away too much until I finish. We finish all our predictions. So I think Styles is going to win. I think it's going to be a really good match. I don't know where it's going to go on the card, maybe in between the ladder matches, but you can't have both back-to-back. So I think, I think it's going to be, it'll be, if it's not Rollins and Elias, I think it's going to be the best singles match of the night.
Yeah?
Because we have seen it. A, we've seen it, and it's good. B, there shouldn't and probably won't be a screwy finish. And C, there's weapons and such involved. So I think it's going to be, I think that's the reason as to why this match is going to be really good. I think Styles is going to find a way to win, just lay Nakamura the hell out, take home his title. Mm-hmm. And maybe they'll face off again at some point, maybe at Extreme Rules in a triple threat match, but I'm going to pick Styles as well. Yeah,
like it'll be a good match. The one thing we know about them is that they're not afraid to hit each other. Like really, really hit each other. And like you said, there's gonna be weapons involved, so it'll be good. I don't think they've had a bad match. It's just that with 3 screwy finishes, and like you said, holy shit, 4 matches so far in 2 months. It's been overkill, and not like. Again, with the screwy finishes, like they could have made it work, but they didn't. So we know they can do it. I think they will do it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That's a good point. I mean, in this case, it's quantity over quality for WWE. That's what they're choosing to do.
Yeah,
and because they're choosing to do that, there's no narrative. You lose the intrigue in the story. So I hope this kind of puts this to rest. And maybe at Extreme Rules, Nakamura is involved in the title match, but I don't think it can be one-on-one. I think it has to involve somebody else, at least one other person, maybe more.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pick AJ to go over and retain his title. Now the big match of the night, not take away from the women's ladder match, but this is probably the one that's gonna go on last, I would assume. Or how do you do that? Would the ladder match go on last because then it prevents them from cashing in on the night, right? So.
What, you think someone's going to cash in Sunday?
I don't know. Maybe. It's happened before.
No, I hate that.
It's happened before. It's
happened twice before, right? With Dean Ambrose and Kane?
Yeah.
But I hate it. Like, I just want another good run with the briefcase. You know what I mean? Like, the last...
Oh, me too.
Good run. Well, Carmella's was okay, but she wasn't on TV enough. The last, good run with the briefcase was probably Rollins, right? And before that, it was Ziggler. Like I want long runs with the briefcase, like teases on teases, and then when he actually cashes in, it's like this huge thing, right? Like again, Rollins cashing in the main event of WrestleMania, amazing.
Best cash of all time.
Yeah, Ziggler cashing in the night after WrestleMania, amazing. Because we had to wait so long for it that the payoff was so worth it. So and again, having the briefcase can add another element to someone's character. Like it becomes their new gimmick. They're the guy with the briefcase. They're the cocky guy who knows they're gonna be
exactly.
You and it's another reason why I think you have to turn heel after you win the briefcase, or you have to be a heel when you win the briefcase. But yeah, I want another good briefcase run. I've been waiting a while for it. So God, please don't cash in on Sunday. But it won't happen because, I mean, you can't not have it in the main event, and the main event's going to be Jinder versus Roman, so.
Anyway, well, yeah, like the briefcase, it's kind of like a substitute for a title, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
if you make it work, man, you could be the most, like, Rollins used it to become the most over guy in the company. Edge back in the day was super over when he had the briefcase. Like, it's, if you
both
use
times.
it right. Yeah, well, the second time he won.
Second time bigger than the first,
Kennedy.
Yeah. But yeah, still good. So who do you think? Who's walking away? Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, or one member of the New Day?
Well, like I said with the women's match, the best part about this match is that literally anyone can win. Because the last few days I've started to talk myself into the possibility that, like, if Big E goes in for the New Day, he could. Like, I would say he's the least likely in the match, but he, like, kind of like Lana, but like he could, right? You can make an argument for everyone, and I could. Not only can I see anyone realistically winning, but I would genuinely get behind 7 of the 8 people winning. And I don't remember the last time I was able to say that about half of the people in the Money in the Bank match. And the best part is, we have 2 Money in the Bank matches on Sunday, and both of them have 8 competitors each, and I can get behind just about anyone winning except for Braun Strowman. And that's not really, like, I mean, you can tell if you've been listening to this podcast, and Mike, I'm sure you've been able to tell, I've been kind of souring a bit on Braun Strowman the last few weeks, but it's not even just because of that, it just doesn't make sense with his character. Like, Braun Strowman winning that Money in the Bank briefcase, him needing, I swear to God, if we see another cash in that's like, oh, I'm cashing in next week, or I'm cashing in at SummerSlam, I'm going to lose my shit.
Oh, an announced one is boring.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
no element of surprise.
But that's the only way Braun would be able to cash in, right? That being said, I can definitely see WWE doing that. So who knows? But again, that's the only scenario that I can actually foresee that I wouldn't like, because anyone else in this match winning would be awesome. Finn Balor needs a win like this. Like, he needs something to. At some point over the last year or so, he dropped into, like, the upper mid card, and he hasn't been able to get out. And a win like this would propel him back into the main event scene. And again, I know I've been talking about heel turns all night, but that's what Money in the Bank's all about. I would love to see Finn Balor have a go as a heel. Then you have The Miz, who has really earned, like, this kind of a spotlight. Like, he has been one of the MVPs for WWE over the last, like, 2 years. So he deserves this. Also, my God, is his character ever perfect for the briefcase? Like, the whole cowardly heel who yaps his mouth and he's cocky and all this stuff.
It worked 8 years ago.
Yes, it did, and it would work even better today because he's way better now than he was 8 years ago. You know what I mean? And then you have the whole built-in thing where you can have Daniel Bryan win the title at SummerSlam and then Miz cash in on him, and that would be amazing. Like, how awesome would they're gonna fight regardless at some point, and it's gonna be awesome, like, storytelling, and it's gonna be an awesome match. But, like, imagine adding that to it. Daniel Bryan finally coming back from, like, these injuries that could have cost him his career, and then right as he finally gets back to the top of the mountain, who's there to rip it all away from him the same way it was ripped away from him, I think, 4 years ago by Randy Orton? It's The Miz. Of course it's The Miz.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, okay, that was my prediction, so.
Sorry, I'm just trying to, like, run through everyone right now. Then you have.
But anyway, yeah, no, that's. I was gonna say that what I thought was gonna happen. I'll just interject quickly because it's been spoiled now. Thank you. I think Daniel Bryan will challenge AJ Styles for the championship at SummerSlam, because I don't think when you have those two guys, I don't think one needs to be a heel, one needs to be face. That's just
I was thinking about that after I said it earlier, and I was like, but you could have Bryan versus AJ for the title. It's kind of
like,
sure.
Well, it was like how the Nakamura Styles feud started. It was just two guys.
Exactly.
So I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Styles or Bryan goes over, and then immediately gets cashed in on and loses the championship to The Miz, and then you set up this really good story for the next little while.
Yeah, and you got to do the confetti thing like they did the last time it happened to Bryan.
Oh my God, yeah.
But yeah,
he can afford it, right? He's a big time star, Miz.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But then you have, like, Rusev, who's so friggin' over right now. Like, he's been one of the most over guys in the company for a while now and just waiting to get put back into that main event picture that he's never really been in. And this would be a great way to like say, all right, fine, we've listened. Rusev is the guy. He's going to win the title at some point in the next year, right? You have Bobby Roode, who's another guy who I think a lot of people, myself included, expected a lot more from once he made it up to the main roster because he's from NXT, but like most of us know, he's not young. Like he's been around the business for a while, so you kind of have to go full throttle with him if you want to get a good WWE run out of him. But he's definitely a guy who needs to turn heel desperately. He was so great in NXT as a heel, and it needs to happen again. Then you have the guy, whoever comes out of the New Day. If it's anyone but Big E, no chance in hell. If it's Big E, maybe they kind of strap a rocket to his back and push him to the moon. I think Big E has the potential to be that, and I think the New Day as a whole is a main event entity, and you can have Kofi and Xavier be kind of like the tag team, like that runs the tag team division, and then Big E be like the main event guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can make that work, right? And
I don't know. I'm gonna just cut you off.
Sorry.
I can't see Big E as the champion.
I can't either, but like
sit with me.
I can see it. I don't think
it'd
it's
be believable. As over as he is, I can't see it. What I could see is them giving him a singles push, still part of New Day, having let's say Kofi and Woods. Let's say they take the tag team titles. Big E, what championship is floundering right now? The U.S. Championship. Give him the U.S. title. Then you have this stable of champions, not the world champion, because I just can't see it, unfortunately. I would love to. And maybe if I saw it actually happen, I'd get around to it, right? But I don't know.
It depends on how they build it, because there is a way. You know what I mean?
I think in the ladder match, he will definitely there will be a spot where you actually believe he's going to win.
Yeah.
But doesn't.
Yeah, that'll probably happen. Like I said, he's the least likely guy to win it, but he does have a slight chance, right? And then you have Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, who, for the same reason, they're two of the best heels in wrestling right now. I would argue maybe the two best. And they're both guys who would rock it with the briefcase. Kevin Owens because, again, like The Miz, he's kind of like a cowardly heel who's great on the mic. And Joe because he's a friggin' badass who knows he can kick anyone's ass, but he also wants to pick his spots because he's smart. Like, his whole thing is that he's supposed to be smarter than everyone, right?
He is. I don't know if he needs it, though. I feel like I'm going to put him in that same boat as Braun Strowman.
No, I don't. See, I get what you're saying. Because he's a badass, he doesn't need it, but he's like... I don't know how to put this. Like, he's an intelligent badass. Like, he knows he can beat you one-on-one, but why would he do that when he can just grab you when you're down, right?
Oh, yeah. No, he's definitely smart. He's very smart.
And the promos that guy would cut with the briefcase would be amazing.
Yeah, good.
They would be amazing.
I just think that, I don't know. I feel like they could kind of bypass that and let him not win.
Yeah.
They could. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be upset if he won. I'd be very happy because I think it would be a good choice, but I don't think he needs it. I think there are guys in this match that definitely need it because they're just trying to get over this hump. I think Joe, especially on SmackDown, he's on I don't want to say on the bright lights of Monday Night Raw, but he's on SmackDown now, and he can really dominate in just the snap of your fingers, right? So
yeah.
Well, I don't think he needs it.
That's why I'm going to make my official prediction, because I think Joe is going to just win the title. I know he's winning the title this year. It has to happen. I think he's going to win it at SummerSlam, probably against AJ, and I think Rusev is going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match on Sunday. I think it's time.
Very interesting pick.
I've been saying it since right before the Greatest Royal Rumble, when they kind of announced that he was pulled from the Undertaker match, and then apparently he was gone from the company, and then all of a sudden he was back in the match and back on the roster. That I think they promised him a huge push, and I think this is where it starts. I think they're going to finally put him in the main event scene where he belongs, and I don't know who he's going to cash in on. I don't know how long he's going to carry it. I'm hoping for a long time and kind of build up, slowly work his way into the main event scene and have one of those awesome runs with the briefcase and then cash in sometime around or after WrestleMania. I
think it'd be a big shock to have him win, just because of not because of how fans perceive him, but because of how the company perceives him.
Yeah.
And they're just not that much behind him. But, maybe that all changes. So I think for that, because we know how different the views are, I think it would be a big shock to have him win. That would be a really, really cool pick. And right off the bat, it gives him instant momentum.
Yeah. No,
propelling him into the main event scene.
I think he has all the tools to be one of the top guys in the WWE. They just have to get behind him, and I genuinely believe they are finally getting behind him now.
I'd hope so. I really do, because I think it's time for new stars to step up and just kind of take over the spots.
Yeah.
And I think a really good way to start with that would be Rusev. So I really like your pick, but I'm going to go with Miz. So we agree it's going to stay on SmackDown. And I think Miz is going to cash in on Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. I think he's going to win the WWE Championship. And from there, who knows?
Well, the thing is, I think the reason I just can't bring myself... I almost picked Kevin Owens, but I think the reason I can't bring myself to pick someone on Raw is that it's either going to be them cashing in on Brock, which is not going to friggin' happen, or Reigns, which, oh my god, please God, not another storyline like that where
imagine
Reigns gets cashed in on, then wins the belt back a month later, like he did with Sheamus.
The only guy on Raw that I could actually conceivably see cashing in on Brock, for example,
is Braun.
Finn Balor.
Actually. Oh, really? Really?
Brock's
I would
had
love
a
that.
really gruesome match. Maybe he just got his ass handed to him, but he still won or whatever. Balor comes out, coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. Sneaky away, make him like a sneaky kind of in-betweener.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
I would love that. I just can't see the WWE doing that. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. That's storyline booking for me. That's just fantasy booking for me. But
yeah, well, you know that one of my fantasy matchups, one of the matchups I'd love to see the most is Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar. I would love to see that, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, and we almost did this year, right?
We should have seen it this year.
In Royal Rumble, that was the rumored match, but he's not over enough apparently. So
yeah, for real. But no, whoever wins, whoever's champion on Raw, whoever beats, because I know it sounds naive, but I'm 100% certain that Lesnar's dropping the strap at SummerSlam. I think whoever he drops it to is carrying it into WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah, I would hope that's not the case. I hope he loses. I hope that's not the case because I hate seeing those long title reigns. We saw it with Lesnar before.
Yeah.
Right? But I definitely hope and agree that he should lose the title at SummerSlam. And then people are speculating if he does drop the title, he's just going to take off for the UFC. So,
fight John Jones.
Sure, right? So, yeah, so, I mean, there are possibilities for him. I definitely... hopefully don't see his title reign going past SummerSlam, and hopefully it's not to Roman Reigns, but whatever. But I don't think they have to worry about, on Raw at least, I don't think they have to worry about someone cashing in on them, because I think The Miz is going to win. You've picked Rusev, and I would be happy with both those picks, but I think we can agree on that it's going to be a very good match at Money in the Bank. So I think that's all the matches. I hope there is another one that they add to the card because it's way too long.
No, way too long. But at the same time, I'm finally really looking forward to a pay-per-view again.
Yeah.
Partly because, for the first time since WrestleMania, it's actually been a while since I've had a pay-per-view. And also partly because, I told you last week, it's my favorite pay-per-view of the year that isn't WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam, I guess. And it's just both ladder matches look amazing. Shinsuke AJ looks amazing. Elias Seth Rollins looks amazing. Big Cass and Bryan doesn't look amazing, but it's Daniel Bryan, so I wouldn't be shocked. You know what I mean? Almost every match. Oh my god, I didn't even mention Jinder versus Roman Reigns, which is the main event. It's such a good card.
Christ. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, anyway, that is a match. That is a match that's happening this weekend. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that match. Anyway, I think we got to wrap it up, man, because we've been going for almost 2 hours.
Yep.
Two last things, though. Well, not... I was going to ask you something. Oh, yeah, my trivia question.
Oh yeah, you got trivia for me. I'm kind of nervous, but
I don't. It's not. Well,
no, I'm scared. I don't want to look like an idiot on the Figure 4 podcast.
As announced on Raw and SmackDown this week, I believe it was more on SmackDown, but I heard on SmackDown, might have been on Raw.
Okay.
84% of all Money in the Bank cash-ins have been successful. That's 16 of 19. What are the 3 that were unsuccessful? And
that's easy. Baron Corbin.
Yep.
Damien Sandow.
Yep.
And John Cena.
I honestly thought that was gonna be a little more difficult.
Boom.
Anyway.
Boom.
Well, listen, you don't look like I look like the idiot now, right? So you're all good.
You can't be a co-host of the Figure 4 podcast and lose out on a question like that. Come on, man.
Because you like your rating system, scale of 1 to 10, Baron Corbin's new haircut.
11. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't even bring that up. That is the greatest thing. Nothing this week on WWE television, including at Money in the Bank, could make me happier than seeing Baron Corbin come out with a shaved head.
He looks better. I thought
he looks better than Gollum. Yes.
The long hair made him look like a badass, I'd say.
No.
From the back.
Even from the back, it was way too thin. No, it was thin.
On the top.
It was receding. No.
He on the back.
He had the worst haircut in wrestling history, and that's saying, okay, maybe I gotta stop saying wrestling history, but you know what I mean. It was awful. It was hard to look at each and every week. I can finally take him seriously again, although his title is Constable of Raw, so maybe not.
I think it suits him. I think if they want to really sell that corporate look, he could have shaved his beard, but whatever. That's all cosmetic. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think it looks better for him. I mean, hey, it's his hair, right? But I know the company has, like, they put those points home. You have to kind of do what the company tells you and all that. But I really like the look for him as a competitor, as a character, and just as a human being. So I'm happy for him that he's undergone this change. And I just like to comment, Money in the Bank is this weekend. We anticipate it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a long show.
Well, that's why we went so long today. We wanted to get ready for how long the show is going to be on Sunday.
And you know, hopefully it's good. It's a pay-per-view that, as you said, it's one that you're actually looking forward to for a change. All I would like to say is have fun following up NXT TakeOver Chicago on Saturday night. That's all I would like to say about that. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at Figure4Pod. We post episodes, wrestling updates. We'll be hopefully posting live updates for the show on Sunday. If we can do so, we're gonna try. And then we'll I hope you enjoy Money in the Bank. Any last words for you there, Dan?
Just that, you know, we're going to see a really monumental match on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. I know. You're going to say Roman and Jinder.
Let me finish, Mike. I'm talking. Please. Don't be rude. We're going to, like, you know, my advice to any wrestling fans out there is to really just soak it in. You know what I mean? Treasure those moments when you're seeing two guys that, like, in your wildest dreams, you could not picture actually going one-on-one in the WWE in the main event of such a big pay-per-view. It's perfect, and you know it truly is a dream match, and really just treasure the moments you have watching it. You know what I mean? You know when you eat like a really good cake that you've been looking forward to eating for you've been looking forward to trying for the first time for like ever, and like every bite you take you're like slowly chewing on it so you can kind of like savor the flavor. I want you to do that with this match, because that's what I'll be doing. Don't take it for granted.
Well, all I will say is you have two of the most hated people in the company, arguably, in a one-on-one match in the state of Illinois. Now, we know Chicago is a very rowdy crowd. This is not in Chicago. It's in Rosemont at the Allstate Arena. Yeah, the Illinois crowds, I would say, I don't want to generalize it, but I will. They're going to be pretty rowdy for this one in a very bad way. So, all I will say, fellas and ladies, if you need to use the bathroom, that's your time. That's your time to do so.
You son of a bitch.
No, they need to put on a really good match, I'd say, to restore any faith in that feud and in themselves. Not like they think that they're bad. It's just that how people perceive them. I think if they were to put on a really good match and leave the fans thinking, oh, that was actually really good, I would love for that to happen. I just don't think it will.
You're wrong. It's fine.
I might be. I won't be, but I might be. So yeah. Money in the Bank is this Sunday, June 17th on the WWE Network. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about it next week in some capacity. But I've been Mike Cummings. That's been Dan Marino. Follow us on Twitter at Figure4 Podcast. You've been listening to the Figure 4 Podcast. We thank you, and we'll see you next week.